Hi, hello, it's Sugar, and today I'm going to be talking about the changes that have been made to the Season 2 Mythic Plus affix Tormented that just appeared on the PTR. This is just going to be a talking head video. I don't have any in-game footage to show you these changes right now. So first change is to the lieutenants. All of them have been buffed, and one of them has been completely reworked. So for the Incinerator, the aura has been buffed by 33%. The zone and the melt souls seem to be the same, but the new affix that was added for this guy is a large AoE that hits all players and does 15k on a plus 10 keystone. So if you get hit with this while you have this, yeah, you're probably gonna die. So the healer is gonna be even busier than they already were. Don't know how that's really gonna work out. Hopefully I'll have time to test it maybe next week. We'll see. Next up is Oro's Cold Heart. The new addition to this one is Cold Snap. Just swirlies to dodge. I'm not really sure that this even really makes this one any harder. I would say this is still fairly easy. Yeah, that one wasn't that hard even without this additional Cold Snap. I don't think it'll be that hard. For Executioner, they have a new Wave of Terror, which deals AoE damage and fears any player not standing on top of an ally. And this could get complicated because of the this one, because of Raise, because it targets a player and then rushes to them and does the damage and leaves a bleed effect. So if everybody has the bleed effect, it could get complicated, I guess. Yeah, it could be hard for your healer. I know our healer did not like this one when we were doing it because it also has the debuff that reduces healing received by all players by 50%. So that's definitely something that could make this more difficult. And then Sagadon the Breaker has been completely reworked. So before, in the footage from the last video, you saw that he was kind of like enraging and hitting me harder. Now the tank always has to be in range of this ad, otherwise crush happens and it will crush the primary target, inflicting physical damage, and he'll grip the tank back and then crush, so you can't kite him. So that kind of sucks. There's also Seismic Wave, which deals AoE damage, and then Massive Smash. I think this is still similar to its previous iteration, except it's gripping all players into melee instead of the giant circle, but I think you might still see that. So yeah, that's that for the new Mythic Plus changes on the PTR for the Tormented affix. Next I want to talk about the nerfs that are happening. So there's going to be a large nerf to Storming, which is great because Storming sucks and everybody hates it. Really kind of a trash affix if you ask me, and I'm a ranged player, so you know, I think that's saying something. For melee, it's going to be great. It's now going to travel slower and make it much easier for the melee to dodge. It's going to travel in a clockwise manner, making it easier to dodge. And the damage has been nerfed by 12%. Oh no, wait, damage nerfed to 12% of health, down from 15. So that's a little bit of a nerf as well. And now it despawns when hit by a single player. So that's going to be awesome. Yeah, really happy about that. They're also nerfing the Necrotic affix for tanks, and healers are going to be very happy about this as well. Yeah, you can check out this article on Wowhead. I'm going to leave links to each of these in the description below, just so you can kind of check it out for yourself and read the comments. I think this is great, and just because it allows the tank to stay in longer and not kite. I know kiting really takes away from the damage of the key, so having to do that is detrimental. Yeah, so I like that. Also, they made some changes to some trash and Sanguine depths. The explosive anger from the Remnant of Fury is different, and you have less of a, like if you miss it, it's less detrimental to the group. And then the Chamber Sentinel, this is a good one. Gargoyles no longer have a frontal cleave, simply only hitting and applying the bleed to its main threat target. So this is great if you are a Boomkin player specifically, because trees would always taunt and then your melee would be like, oh, now it's facing a different direction and get hit in the face. So this is going to be great for us specifically, and also probably great for melee and tanks, but who really cares about them? And then the other change they made was to Halls of Atonement. So Thrash can no longer be ranged. It's it has been increased to 60 yards, and that kind of sucks. I know my team would always range it. The hunter and myself would always range this, so our healer wouldn't have to worry about us. And the damage has been increased? No, slightly nerfed. So from 7 to 5. So hopefully that'll be enough so the healer can heal all of us easily. We'll see. And then they also changed the Depraved Obliterator's Wicked Bolt. So now it's going to inflict 14 shadow damage instead of 11. And there are going to be a lot more interrupts needed for this, because they're going to spam these bolts on your tank and they're going to hit a lot harder. Blizzard felt they weren't hitting hard enough, so that's why they made this change. I disagree with them. I think they were hitting just right, but that's what they've done. So yeah, those are the changes to Sanguine Depths and Halls of Atonement Trash. And next, they've done some boss tuning to Hakar, Dealer Zera, and Crixus. So for Dealer Zera, I don't know how to say the name, Arcane Lightning will now inflict a little bit less damage, and it'll apply 1 stack of Arcane Vulnerability, but Arcane Vulnerability has increased damage taken from 3% to 5%. So I think this is more of a balance thing. I don't really see this as a nerf, but I'm not a theory crafter, so don't quote me on that. And then Hakar, there's been some changes too. Now, when he's in that protective bubble, he can be interrupted, it seems. So that's good, I guess. I don't really understand Hakar. He's a weird boss. And then in Necrotic Wake, the Tortured Echoes from a Marth. When you harvest the power from the deaths of his little ads, the application is going to apply 330 shadow damage to all enemies every 3 seconds instead of 396. So I think that's a good nerf. You know, not too bad. I don't really like that boss, but I don't hate it either. And then Sanguine Depths, Crixus, the Juggernaut Rush, the one that targets players and you have to like soak it, is going to do a little bit less damage, which is great because that one I think was a little overtuned. And then the Essence Absorption, I can't talk today, are gonna do 7 shadow damage to all players instead of 8, so very minor. And then this is more of I think this is a buff to Theater of Pain. They're adding Zera back, the little rogue that would ambush a player and stun them for 10 seconds in Theater of Pain. That's the first boss. I think this is going to make it harder again, but I don't know why they would take it out on a hotfix just to add it back now. Doesn't really make sense to me. I think it is fine with just the 3 bosses, but you know, that's what they did, so be prepared for it. And then lastly, I wanted to talk about the Mythic Plus rating system that's going to be coming to in-game. So it's very similar to Raider.io. If you are familiar with Raider.io, you'll know how this sort of system works. For the Blizzard one specifically, you're going to have times based on your Fortified run and your Tyrannical run for each. So if you do a 15 Tyrannical and you do a 15 Fortified, you'll have 2 separate scores for each of those that get added together for your overall score. I don't, it's not that I don't like this. I think it's fine. I'm used to Raider.io. I like Raider.io. Putting it in game, I think does maybe help a little bit. But I do see this becoming, you know, like the new gear score, like it was back in the day. If you ever played Burning Crusade, gear score came into the game and people got real upset about it because they felt like it created a system that made the game more elitist, and I think it does in some cases do that. But at the same point, like if you're trying to run 15s, you need to run with people who have ran the key on lower levels and know the routes and are kind of familiar with the ads as well, because In my opinion, I think Mythic Plus is harder than Rating because it has so many different things you need to know. You need to know about each mob. You need to know about what to interrupt from each of those mobs, what mobs to CC, what paths to take, what to skip, when to use your cooldowns, when to use hero. There's just so much more that goes into Mythic Plus. So I like the idea of the rating system. I just hope that it doesn't make Raider IO obsolete because I really like Raider IO. I've been using the add-on for I think 3 expansions now, or maybe 2 expansions. I don't know how long it's been out, but it's been very helpful to find people when we do pug, if we just need like one person. So I don't know. We'll see how it ends up going. If you do end up getting an upgrade to your score, or anyone's score in your group, you do get extra Valor points. So that'll be nice to help upgrade gear and stuff. So I think that's it for this. These are all the updates for this week for the PTR when it comes to Mythic Plus. So that's it for now, guys. And I'll catch you next time in the next video. Okay, bye.